Okay, your team principal of a title contending Formula One team. What would you prefer? An out and out lead driver and a number two, or two lead drivers who are both in contention for the championship? Now, in some ways, the ideal situation is kind of this situation where you've got an out and out lead and you've got a driver that is there or thereabouts playing rear gunner, essentially. This means there's no threat from that second driver to the lead driver, plus you're getting points for the team, ensuring a constructors win as well. Or would you prefer two lead drivers, sort of Lennon and McCartney situation where they're pushing each other forward and also getting maximum points all the time because they're locking out that front row, but they're also essentially potentially taking points off each other? Now, of course, currently that is the situation with McLaren. Now, obviously, Lando has had a good run recently, but the first half of the season, where the points count just as much, it was Oscar's season. So, what are the drawbacks and benefits of the current system, and how would you compare these two drivers right now? Well, this is clearly what McLaren wanted. They've got these drivers, they got the drivers that they wanted, and they're both equally matched. The big benefit is that they can develop the car in the same way because they're both kind of wanting the same thing out of the car. So from an engineering and a design standpoint, that's really, really good. They're about the same height and weight. They have a similar driving style. So that's really, really helpful, and they're both gunning for victory. But this has really allowed Verstappen to come back. Obviously, brilliant drive from Verstappen, but they have been taking points off each other. Of course, there's been all the dramas that we know about, but that's the important part. They've both been winning and therefore not getting maximum points each weekend that they could have done if there had been one that was prioritised. But who on earth would you prioritise in a situation when they're so equally matched? Now, the big difference is that Lando's in his 7th season and Oscar's only in his 3rd, and that does make a big difference. So let's look at some numbers. So to date, Lando has started 149 races and Oscar's only started, 67. So Lando's had 122% more race starts than Oscar. That's a lot more experience. However, the points are quite interesting. Lando scored 1,397 and Oscar 755, which is only 85% more points. So 122% more races, but only 85% more points. And it's even worse in podiums. Lando scored 79% more podiums than Oscar, again, compared to the race starts. And if you remember, Lando only got his first win last year. So Oscar's had a much more competitive car for much higher percentage of his race starts. So that's relevant too. So what I'm saying is it's impossible to choose between them right now because they're both really, really great drivers and they couldn't pick a number one even if they wanted to.